Roman sleep is shaped less by ideals of comfort than by what space and money allow. Some people sleep on proper bedsteads with mattresses and coverings of decent quality. Others sleep on simpler arrangements, pallets, stuffed sacks, straw-filled mattresses, folded blankets, or whatever can be assembled and stored within a crowded room. Bedding is functional before it is luxurious. Even when a household has enough for warmth, comfort may still be relative. A mattress can be lumpy. Straw shifts. Wool scratches. In warm weather, closeness becomes uncomfortable. In cold weather, that same closeness becomes welcome. Shared sleeping space is ordinary. Privacy is rare. Imagine the final moments before lying down. The lamp is turned lower. Someone shakes out a blanket. A child protests sleep weakly, already half gone. Another person makes a place near the wall. Shoes are set aside. A cup is moved so it will not be kicked in the dark. Someone checks the latch one last time. The room smells different now than it did at supper. The sharper scents of food have faded. In their place are wool, skin, lamp smoke, wood, and the faint dampness that buildings collect at night. If the weather is cool, blankets hold a little chill at first. The bed receives the body coldly, then slowly warms. For many Romans, sleep posture is influenced by constraint. There may not be space to sprawl. Bedding may have to fit around other people or around furniture not removed for the night. The body folds itself into available room. Children may sleep side by side. Adults adapt around them. The shared rhythm of breathing becomes part of the room's soundscape. There are discomforts, of course. Insects. Drafts. A cough that will not stop. A board that presses in the wrong place. The sound of a neighbor turning over through the wall. The sudden awareness of a noise outside. Roman nights are not imagined best as perfect rest. They are real rest, which means interrupted, adjusted, and resumed. But there is tenderness here too. A blanket pulled up over a sleeping child. A hand reaching in darkness to make sure someone nearby is covered. A quiet warning not to wake the others. A small body already fully surrendered to sleep while adults are still negotiating with tiredness. The more one imagines these details, the less ancient sleep feels remote. The materials differ, the architecture differs, the risks differ, but the human motions are familiar. The final shift of the shoulders. The search for the cool side or the warm side. The effort to still the mind after too much noise. The relief when the body finally gives up its stiffness. Some people no doubt fall asleep almost instantly, especially after labor. Others remain awake longer, listening. An older person may think of tomorrow's work. A younger one may replay an embarrassment from the day. A child may ask a final question into the darkness and receive only a tired murmur in return. Then, one by one, the room crosses over. And once several people are asleep, the room changes again. It no longer belongs to conversation or effort. It belongs to breathing, turning, murmuring, and dream. The lamp, if still lit, is nearly gone. Shadows deepen. The city outside feels farther away. The world has narrowed to bodies at rest. Sleep in ancient Rome is not always one deep unbroken descent. Many people likely wake during the night for ordinary reasons. Noise, cold, heat, thirst, cramped limbs, a child turning, a neighbor on the stairs, a dog in the street, the need to relieve oneself, or simply the natural rise of the mind into partial awareness. The night contains these small returns. If you wake in a Roman room after midnight, the first thing you may notice is the dark. Not empty dark, but layered dark. There may still be the faintest ember of light from a dying lamp, or moonlight slipping weakly through an opening, or a line of dimness under a door from another room. But mostly the room is known through shape and memory. Breathing surrounds you. Someone nearby snores softly. Another person shifts and settles. From outside comes a distant roll of cartwheels, perhaps later than usual, or the sharp bark of a dog somewhere far enough away to feel more lonely than alarming. The city has not disappeared. It has only moved to a greater distance. In such moments, time feels strange. Without bright light and clear tasks, the mind drifts differently. A person may lie still and listen, not fully anxious, not fully calm. The room is familiar, but at night every familiar room becomes slightly mysterious. Things you know well are reduced to outlines. The chest in the corner becomes a shape of darkness. A hanging cloth becomes the silhouette of a figure until the mind corrects itself. If the weather is cold, this waking may come with a decision. Pull the blanket tighter. Turn toward shared warmth. Endure the draft. In summer, the opposite. Throw off a covering for a while. Search for moving air. Lift an arm from the heat gathered beneath cloth and wool. A parent waking in the night listens almost automatically for children. Are they breathing evenly? Has one pushed aside the blanket? Has someone begun to cough? Domestic concern does not sleep very deeply. It rises at the smallest irregularity. There may also be practical nighttime movements. A person rises carefully, trying not to disturb others. Bare feet find the floor. A hand tests the darkness. The body remembers the room without needing to see it clearly. This is a quiet skill, learned through repetition. And once the brief task is done, there is the return to bed, often the most delicate part. The blanket is found again. The body lowers itself carefully. The warmth already created by another person or by the bedding itself is re-entered like a small protected space. Outside the room, the city continues in fragments. Inside, the room gathers itself once more. Not every waking is inconvenient. Some may carry a strange serenity. When the noisiest part of the night has passed and most of the neighborhood is finally still, the middle hours can feel almost suspended. The city that was oppressive by day becomes remote and spacious in imagination. Lying awake for a moment, a Roman might hear only one small sound at a time, each separated by real silence. A drop of water. A shifting beam. Wind at the edge of a shutter. A very distant voice. Then nothing. In that quiet interval, before sleep returns, ancient Rome can feel unexpectedly tender. Not because life is easy. It is not. But because for a few moments the demands of the day are completely absent. No bargaining. No carrying. No climbing. No arguing. No public face to maintain. Only a body in darkness, suspended between one day and the next. And then, slowly, without decision, sleep comes back. The final hours of the night have their own texture. They are cooler. Quieter. More fragile. Even those who sleep heavily often sense, at some level, the change approaching. The air feels different before dawn. A lamp, if any remains, is no longer needed much longer. The darkness shifts in quality before it shifts in color. This is the softest part of the Roman night. The city has not woken yet, and most of what belonged to the evening has fully passed. The late talkers are done. The returning footsteps are fewer. The dogs are quieter. Whatever trouble the night carried has either happened already or drifted elsewhere. In a modest room, bodies are fully surrendered now. The hardest sleepers remain deep under blankets. Lighter sleepers move at the edges of waking. Someone turns and listens without opening their eyes. Someone else pulls cloth over a shoulder against the cool. From outside, the earliest signals begin. Perhaps a distant cart. Perhaps someone rising before sunrise for work. Perhaps the faintest bird sound if the season allows and the neighborhood is not too dense to hear it. These sounds do not break the night so much as thin it. The sky beyond the rooftops will eventually begin to pale, but long before visible light truly arrives, the city senses morning. Bakers will prepare. Workers will stir. Fires will be coaxed. Doors will open. Yesterday's quiet will be exchanged for today's obligations. But for a little longer, none of that has happened yet. This in-between hour may be the closest Rome comes to peace. Not because all is clean or safe or beautiful, but because so much of its daily pressure is temporarily asleep. The city is still there in all its weight. Yet its grip loosens. If you could stand now in a narrow lane and look upward, the buildings would still rise around you in darkness, but their edges would be softer. A little dampness might cling to stone. The air would smell less of food and more of night itself, if night has a smell: cooling dust, weak smoke, old wood, and the faint mineral scent of stone losing heat. Inside the rooms above, families remain suspended in the last useful stretch of rest. Even those who do not love their homes may love this hour. It asks nothing yet. It does not bargain. It does not call. It does not command labor. It is simply the final gift of darkness. Soon enough the city will return. Voices, tasks, prices, heat, dirt, carrying, washing, mending, selling, climbing, waiting. Another day in Rome. But for now there is only this nearly silent edge of morning. A blanket rises and falls with breathing. A hand lies open in sleep. The lamp has gone cold. Outside, the first gray enters the sky. And somewhere in the vast living body of ancient Rome, ordinary people rest for a few final moments before the world begins again. So tonight we have passed through Rome not as conquerors, not as nobles, and not as names preserved in stone, but as ordinary people moving from dusk toward sleep. We have walked the evening street, shared a simple meal, climbed to a modest room, watched lamplight hold back the dark, listened to the city's uneasy sounds, and followed the body through interruption into rest. Ancient Rome could be noisy, dangerous, crowded, and harsh. But like every great city, it was also built out of ordinary evenings. People ate. They washed. They checked the door. They lowered the lamp. They pulled a blanket close. They woke in the night and slept again. History is full of emperors and battles, but most human life has always happened in these smaller hours. If you are listening at the end of your own day, I hope this quiet Roman night has helped the mind slow down a little. Let the city fade now. Let the footsteps grow distant. Let the final lamp dim. And if you like, stay here for just another moment, under a dark Roman sky, where the stone is cooling, the rooms are still, and dawn has not quite arrived.